welcome to Driving the Classics. This is going to be one of our first episodes to where we are reviewing a vehicle that I bought. Now, I don't always buy classics and I don't always review classics. I love the car culture. I love cars, anything to do with them. But sometimes when I'm out looking and I find a gem and actually purchase it, I like to be able to review it. This is a 2007 Cadillac Escalade ESV. I was looking for a larger SUV, suburban length. Our family's going to be growing a little bit, not with new kids, but with extended family, that we're going to need more seats and more capacity. So I wasn't able to go out and purchase a brand new Suburban, a brand new Escalade, or anything like that. So I really do a lot of searching and until I find that perfect vehicle, that perfect little gem. And this is one of those. I found this down in Houston. It's like I said, it's 2007. It's 13 years old, but it's got less than 100,000 miles on it. When I bought it, it had 96,500 miles. And it's in excellent condition. It had brand new tires. Everything had been changed. It had paperwork. You know, the original owner had really taken care of this vehicle and was garage kept and kept all the maintenance on it. So a lot of people are afraid to buy used cars because they don't know what the history is. They don't know where it's been or what it's been through. But if you really look and are interested and really care about your vehicle, you don't have to be scared about buying an older vehicle. Now, I do know that there are some out there that will tout the Cadillac Escalade is not really a Cadillac, not built to the quality, but I'm only speaking from experience, and I've had this for about a month and a half now. I hadn't put that many miles on it, but it's really a great vehicle. It's really good condition. 2007 Escalade was the first year of the new body style change. It had a few little extras. It had a little more refinement. It had a little sharper edges on it to make it look a lot classier than the previous version. So what I'd like to do today is just review this vehicle through my eyes, through my experience, seeing what I've seen. And like I said, it's not going to be positive because this is a 13-year-old vehicle. And when you buy a vehicle like that, you can't really expect everything to work on it. From what I've seen and what my experience has been on this particular vehicle, it was excellent. It is probably 90% of new condition. And I just want to tell you a little bit about this gem. Now, there are others out there who have reviewed this. Some are very negative, some are positive, some are meh. I'm going to come at it from a little bit different point of view, knowing it's a used car, knowing that there's going to be some issues, there's going to be some negative reviews on it. So let's look it over, and maybe you may want to look for the same thing. So starting in 2007, the new body style, the new design came out for the Cadillac Escalade, both in the ESV and the standard length version. It had a new grille, had new lights, had a little bit sharper edge on there. Also had some additional chrome accents, but overall it was very similar to the previous year, the 2006. In 2007, the Cadillac Escalade came standard with a 6.2 liter V8, which translates to a 378 cubic inch. Horsepower for this was 403, which is plenty of power for its passenger capacity, and up to 7,000 pound trailer towing capacity, which is very stout for this vehicle. This one actually has a larger engine than the Suburban or the GMC model, and that's comparable, which is usually the 5.7. So this has a 6.2, which gives it a little more power, which is really what I was looking for, based on being able to carry as many passengers as I need, and also the towing capacity that I require. Now, as you can see, the interior of this 13-year-old vehicle is very clean. No tears in the seats. I mean, there's a few that you can see right there, but overall this vehicle is very well taken care of. The dash is clean, hardly any scratches. Everything power in here still works. It does have a working sunroof, which I don't use a lot, especially in the Texas summer heat, so we try to keep that closed as much as possible. The back seats really don't even look like they've been used. We have the rear radio and AC controls. We also have the dual DVD players, one for the center seats and one for the rear seats. The carpets and the floor mats are all still in very good condition, as you can see here, and maybe you can see there. The floor seals are in very good shape. All the weather stripping is excellent. The door panels, no cracks, not in the leather, not in the plastic. Everything is in excellent shape. Same for the rear doors. Also, looking in the back, the rear seats, plenty of leg room. The upholstery, the leather is still very nice. One of the neat features of this vehicle is the remote folding seats. So there is a button right here, if you can see there. And if I push that, you'll be able to fold the seats forward and have access to the rear seats. And you can do that from there, and you can also do that from a control panel up here. Now let's look at some of the controls up here. You have this button right here, and we'll go to the back, but again, you'll hit that. For your automatic opening liftgate. So if you look back here, you've got plenty of room, and this was one of the features that I was really interested in, because as you can see, 2, 4, 6, and you could possibly fit a 7th person in the back if you needed to. It'd be a little tight, but you can do it. But even with that many people in there, you still have plenty of room for your luggage and any other items that you need to put back here. Now this one actually came with a WeatherTech pad, which was a bonus for me because I wanted to get one of these anyway, but it came with it as from the previous owner. So, and again, and most of this is not new technology, but if you look, there's the button right there. You hit it, there you go. After 13 years, it still works. That is what is excellent about this vehicle. That's why I call it a gem, because most of the ones that you find used have almost 200,000 miles on them, have not been well taken care of, have not been, I mean, this has got, there's no dents, there's no dings, there's no scratches. This guy, whoever owned it before me, did an excellent job. He loved his vehicle, as do I. So that's one of the reasons I want to talk about it on this episode, because it is a gem, and you don't always find those things that you're looking for like that. So there is an overwhelming number of positive attributes for this vehicle. One of the reasons I picked it, because, well, first of all, the mileage was under 100,000 miles. The previous owner had kept it very well, had kept accurate maintenance records on it, kept it in the garage. He took very good care of this vehicle and didn't drive it very much. So that's one of the reasons I really targeted this Escalade when I decided to buy it. But there are some negatives to it, and you have to expect that, being a 13-year-old vehicle. So let's talk about a few of those. On the interior, there is a tendency for the dash to crack, and usually that happens fairly soon in its life. It was made with very cheap plastic, and I will show you here. If you look there, there's that line, and it's completely cracked through. There's another crack starting right there. If you can see it, it's just a small one, But these are not very expensive to replace. There's actually a couple YouTube videos out there on how to replace it. I just haven't got to that point yet. So eventually I will, but it's not affecting the quality of the ride or the structural or anything. It's just cosmetic. So I'm not worried about that at this point. That's just a future project. So we will take this on a little test drive just to show you the drive quality. As you can see, all the gauges work. The AC actually has dual zone cooling, which my wife loves because she's very cold natured and I'm very warm natured. So we will usually have set that on different temperature settings, which works great for both of us. The AC works great. The rear AC works great. Like I had mentioned before, the rear passengers in the middle seat have their own AC control, climate control, so they can be comfortable. This actually came with very good stereo system. Got all the touch screen. It did come with XM radio, and I don't know. I'm assuming that it comes with the vehicle because I've had it for a long time. And it's never turned off, so I've got XM and I'm all happy with it. Oh, also some of the negatives on this, as you're looking here, you have some of the paint coming off of the controls, and what I'm told is that that's very common on these. So, but again, doesn't affect drivability, doesn't affect anything. It just eventually I want to be able to replace those things and just to make it a little more appealing inside. Up here you have your OnStar controls, you have your compass and your temperature. You do have some spots here for your auto garage door opener. You have map lights, which is normal on any car. Your sunroof controls, your rear hatch controls, and your middle folding seat controls that we mentioned before. All the windows work, all the power windows work on both sides, all the door locks work on both sides. The only thing that does not work is the fold-in mirrors, and it seems like the gears are stripped out on that, so the motor will run, and that's on both mirrors. The motor will run, but they will not come in. They will not bring in. But I don't intend to use those very often. You have two little compartments here. One here is your cup holders. Now, what I've noticed is 13 years ago, I guess bottles and cups and things were a little bit smaller, but a lot of the larger 20-ounce bottles don't fit in there for some reason. I don't know why they didn't make a bigger compartment. That's another negative. Here you actually got an ashtray and a cigarette lighter, which you don't have in most vehicles nowadays. So, but 13 years ago, it was just a little bit different. Also here, and you're not going to be able to see it, but you can control your pedals, and you can bring them in and bring them out, depending on if you're short or tall. Which is always an interesting feature. You do have two CD players. You have the DVD player right here that you can play on the DVD, and it actually came with a remote control. And then your normal CDs will fit in here, and this actually has a 6 CD changer. So I haven't used that yet. I've played the CDs at work, but I haven't loaded any other CDs in there because I just haven't had. I don't have that many. So. But like I said, that's pretty much the dash. Like everything, you got a wood grain steering wheel, which I actually like. It's different from what I've driven before. It drives more like the classic cars that I enjoy. It does have a little analog clock here, which is reminiscent and kind of a tribute to the older Cadillacs, because they had little square clocks back in the 50s that were like that. They weren't exactly like that with the large numbers, but it's a good little tribute to the older Cadillacs. So that's nice to have. Now, looking at the audio system, it's got a full screen touch screen audio system. It does have, as I had mentioned before, it does have XM radio. It's got a Bose surround sound system that is excellent, especially if you put movies in. Wow, it's like a theater in here. We come out here and watch movies just to get the sound quality, but it's really really exceptional, especially on a vehicle this age. There are speakers here for the Bose, as you can see there. There is a mid-range speaker and another speaker there. Then you have your standard indoor speakers. Now again, that's that crack that's pretty standard on these vehicles. I don't know why. They just put some poor quality materials in there. Now, one of the things on these columns here is you can see the materials kind of come unglued, but that's actually a very easy fix. There is a good YouTube video that goes through the steps of doing that, and it's very, like I said, it's very simple. There's a screw right here that will come out, and it will just pull out, and then you can unplug the speakers and then re-glue this, which is one of the things that I do plan on doing here in the near future. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We have if you look here, you do have different selections on your menu. You have an information system. That's where you have your oil life. You can switch your units of measure. You look at your tire pressure, your left front and right front. Oh, it looks like one of mine is a little low. Another negative on this, and again, because of the age of the vehicle, it's not a major issue, but you have these little, they look like speakers up above here. And if you can hear, it's making a noise. Well, that's actually where your sensor is that controls your temperature, your internal temperature of your AC unit. So there's a little fan in there that pulls in air, and that regulates. The sensor will take the temperature of the vehicle, and so when you set your temperature on your AC, that's where it goes and determines what temperature it is in the vehicle. Well, as it ages, the little fan in there gets off balance, and just like any other fan, it gets dust or debris or anything like that on it. So that will need to be replaced or fixed. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't even hear it anymore. But that's one of the things, you can pull that off and either clean the fan or replace the sensor, or and then again, there's more videos on that. So not very many negative aspects of this vehicle. All right, well, let's take it for a test drive and see what it's like. I've really enjoyed it, but I came from a little bit smaller car than this, and so this is really the largest vehicle I've ever had. So I've been enjoying the room. I've been enjoying the smooth ride. One of the negatives that I've heard about on other YouTube reviews about this vehicle is the front hub bearings, and that they tend to go out fairly shortly. I mean, fairly shortly after, you know, a couple of years or so. I'm not sure if they've been replaced on here, so I don't feel any unstableness in driving. In fact, when I bought this, it had the stock 22-inch wheels on it, and I just didn't like the ride as much with the 22s, and so I went out and bought some 20s, which you saw on there. So I put new wheels and tires on it, and it has a whole, it's a much better ride with the smaller wheels, plus with the height of the profile tire. So I did purchase taller tires, so it really improved the ride. So if you get one of these and it has the 22s, I would highly suggest that you buy smaller wheels and with higher profile tires. The transmission on this is a 6-speed transmission, which is very smooth. In fact, the only time you really can tell when the gears are shifting is when you're in your lower RPMs, driving around town. And one of the issues with that 6-speed is that you do have to maintain it. You do have to maintain it every, 80 to 100,000 miles. And like I had mentioned, I don't have the records whether that was done on this one. So I'm going to have to do that fairly soon. We'll change the fluid and change the filter on it, and I think it would get a much better ride with that. A lot smoother shifting, and there's videos out there on YouTube showing that process, which I'm going to be doing fairly soon. In town, I do notice it being a little chunky when you shift gears, especially like from 3rd to 4th, 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th, somewhere in there. But on the highway, you don't even know that the transmission's shifting, so it's really amazing. Also, this is an all-wheel drive, so you do have a transfer case, and it's a good idea at that time when you do the service on the transmission to also do a service on the transfer case, and you're going to have a lot longer life out of this. I know there's some out there who I really enjoy watching, but had mentioned that in their videos that is a weak link in this vehicle, which I really haven't found at this point. But like I said, I'm still under 100,000 miles and it's still in great shape. So the acceleration is nice, especially for a vehicle this heavy. It does have a very large cubic inch engine in it, but it's very it's lower in torque. But it does help you tow when you need that feature. So, but it drives smooth. It steers very. One of the things that I did notice when I bought this is the steering wasn't as tight as my previous vehicles were, and I just wasn't used to that. But I've been driving it for over a month now, and I really enjoy the steering on it. So it does a good job. It's actually pretty nimble. It's not like your old Suburbans or old large SUVs that are of this size. It's actually very maneuverable, which I appreciate. We'll pick it up a little bit here. We just got to 60 miles an hour there. It's a really good, smooth transition. And like I said, for a 13-year-old vehicle, I can't ask for better. Like I said, it drives well, it's comfortable. It does have its quirks. Oh, one of the other things is it's supposed to have heated front seats. That's not working. The rear seats are working fairly well, because they also have the heaters and they also have the coolers. The steering has a heater and it actually works, but for some reason the front seats aren't heating, and to my wife's dismay, she's like, why'd you get one with no heated seats? But anyway, but it works for me because I'm the one mainly driving it. And plus, being in Texas, you don't really need it that often. So anyway, so this is the Cadillac Escalade 2007 ESV. I'm enjoying it. And if you ever decide to get one of these or look into these, look very hard, because the gems are out there. The diamonds in the rough, and this is not rough at all. When I saw this on the internet, I jumped on it, and that's what you got to do, because if you're really searching for a good used car, it's going to go quick. But know your stuff, and that's why we have videos like this. It's not detailed. I don't go much into mechanics. I'm just coming at it from a consumer's point of view. This is what my experience is, and that's what I hope to do, and I hope that's helpful to you. So there you have it, the 2007 Cadillac Escalade ESV. Not a detailed review, but just my opinion as a consumer and a lover of vehicles. So if you'd like to look at one of these, check this out, make your own decision, and we will see you next time on Driving the Classics. If you want to see more content like this, more car shows, more drag racing, more car content, more car culture content, then hit the subscribe button. And if you want alerts, ring the bell, and you will get the alerts when a new video comes out. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Driving the Classics.